Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I'm your host Boise, and this is NXT TakeOver Chicago review. So the first match of the night was for the NXT Tag Team Championship, and that was the Undisputed Era taking on Hawkins and Birch. And I've got to say, yes, it was a very predictable win for the Undisputed Era, but I'm giving Hawkins and Birch an absolutely shout out because they were fantastic throughout the night. They were hard hitting, exactly what I wanted to see through their match, and they pulled off some moves which you just don't get to see so often in NXT when they're performing. So it was probably the most surprising match of the night for me. I honestly thought Hawkins and Birch would be defeated quicker than they did, and I thought they wouldn't get much offensive in, but no, they had a lot of offensive moves in, and they looked like they were about to win it several times, and that's what you really want in this kind of underdog story. For me, they've definitely elevated themselves to one of the top tier tag teams in NXT now. I could see them easily taking on teams like TM61, Heavy Machinery, Wall Riders, those guys. Yes, I could easily see them going on against them. But for me, it was a good match, great opening segment. Adam Cole getting involved, of course he does. He's Adam Cole, baby! So, for me, I'm giving this a good 7 out of 10 because I was so surprised how well Hawkins and Birch did. Next match I'm looking at is Ricochet versus the Velveteen Dream. And first things first, Velveteen Dream coming out looking like Hulkamania, baby, was absolutely brilliant. And Ricochet was brilliant. Different type of start of a match I was expecting. I thought it would be a very high flying moves straight away, but no, they slowed the match down very quickly and made Velveteen Dream have most of the offensive straight away, which I wasn't expecting. I honestly thought the Velveteen Dream would be more, get pummeled a little bit by Ricochet, then him using his more superior strength and size to take Ricochet to the limit and then have Ricochet win. But no, they went completely a different way. They had it where Velveteen Dream was using more of Ricochet's techniques, which was good to see. Again, this just shows you what Velveteen Dream can do. He's a guy who is very talented, and it seems like you can just show him once and he will pick it up straight away, and that's what you want to see in young talent, and he's very much a very talented wrestler in that behalf. Then we have Ricochet, it's like gravity doesn't understand what to do with Ricochet when he's in the air, and these two just had a good chemistry. Yes, there were a few botches in the match, and every match had a few botches. That's expected. They're still technically developmental, but my God, what a match to have. Ricochet did win, but it was pushed to the limit, and Ricochet pulled off some absolutely amazing high fly moves near the end, and you just were like, this is what I want to see for Ricochet. And again, it's going to get a 7 out of 10. I was so impressed and I enjoyed every second of the match. The next match up was for the NXT Women's Championship, and for me this was the slightly weakest match of the night, but I'm not saying it was a bad match. I just think out of all the matches there were, this was definitely the weakest one on the card for me. And Baszler and Nikki Cross had a very good match. It was very good. Nikki Cross playing mind games throughout the whole match, and that's what you want to see. Baszler was not on top form at all. She didn't know how to perform against someone who literally in her own world loves pain and loves getting beaten up by someone like Baszler, which was all this match was about. Baszler tried everything to knock Nikki Cross out, and it just didn't seem like it was going to happen at all. She was even smiling and happy when it looked like she was getting the living crap kicked out of her by Baszler, which it just shows you how mad Nikki Cross is. Even at the end, there was 3 possible ways I could see Baszler winning, and I'm glad they did take one of the routes. One was for Baszler to win by count out. I thought that would be the more logical conclusion. Second, she makes Nikki Cross go to sleep. She knocks her out completely, but with a submission move, but Cross doesn't tap out. That's what did happen, and I'm glad they went that route where she was more smiling and happy, and it looked like she was like, I'm ready to go to sleep now, then, you know, I'm you know, suffocating. Or she cheated to win, where she'd knock her out with a weapon to get the victory. Those three conclusions is brilliant for this type of match, because it can show that it could definitely have another match between Baszler and Nikki Cross, and I think that's what they definitely need to do. I think this type of match really opened up a lot of NXT fans for Nikki Cross. I think we're already massive fans for Nikki Cross. She was very much supported throughout the NXT universe, but my God, great match for her. I was really pleased with the performance of both women. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Next up was Alistair Black versus Sullivan for the NXT Championship. And this one was, I was worried. I'm not a massive Sullivan fan. I'm not Lars Sullivan isn't. Oh, he hasn't got over for me yet. But after that match, I appreciate more what he can do. He's a big guy who can pull off some impressive moves. But my God, Alistair Black really put on a great performance. Yes, there were a few botches. Again, every match had a few botches throughout it, so I'm not really going to say too much about them. But it just was a very hard-hitting match, and you want that sometimes. Alistair Black is one of those guys, he can do submission moves and he can do hard-hitting moves at the same time. And for me, he's so over right now. He's a really good NXT champion. I thought this was a good first title defense on a TakeOver pay-per-view. And I'm really looking forward. I could see Alistair holding the title up to August, to SummerSlam, dropping it and going to the main roster. That's what I can see happening very soon. He's just so ready for the main roster already, and I think last night just shows how good he is as a wrestler. Lars Sullivan definitely can be a #1 contender again. I think he's one of those big men. Does he ever need a title? I don't think he will. I think he could be like Braun Strowman in that kind of sense, where he doesn't technically need to ever have a title to be over. But yeah, again, very hard hit. I'm going to give this another 6 out of 10. I don't think it was as good as Ricochet and Velveteen Dream, but I think it did what it needed to do, and it really put emphasis on both men's performance. Last but not least, it was the match I think everyone was looking forward to. It was Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, Chicago street fight. Anything goes, and literally anything went in this match. Every bit of it felt hard hitting. It felt like both men were just ready to kill each other, and this just shows you how good both men are in the ring. They told a story, and it's hard to do that with this type of stipulation. Sometimes it's hard to continue a story. Sometimes it's more like we're gonna just beat the crap out of each other and we're gonna have some big spots. But no, they managed to do a lot with this. They told a great story. Check. They had big spots. Check. The weapons were used correctly. They weren't overused. Check. Every bit of this made you, it was just like an emotional roller coaster for the fans and for the wrestlers in the ring. But everyone, I think, was just like, oh man, this is a great match. There's bits where Champa is lifting up Gargano, taking him up the ramp, like it looks like he's carrying his best friend, and he's there shouting and screaming, "This is your fault, Johnny. This is all your fault. I loved you. You were my brother." And the crowd were eating it up. Champa going through the table was absolutely brilliant. The medical staff carrying him away, and Johnny Gargano dragging him back to the ring and beating the crap out of him. Champa tapping out with no referee there, so it didn't count, and the backstage staff trying to drag Johnny Gargano off him. Brilliant. It was just exactly what you want. Johnny Gargano looked like he was going to win, and Ciampa got the victory. Cheapest victory on earth, but he got the victory, and the crowd were just so angry, and it's exactly what you want in this type of match. You can tell there's going to be a third match, and you can tell it's going to be the final chapter of their story. But this is a great midway match. It did everything you wanted it to do. It continues the story. It evolves the story. Let's be honest, it evolves the story so well. Johnny Gargano looked like he was turning into Champa. It just so well put together. I loved every single bit. Even the beginning when Candice gave Johnny a walking stick and told him to beat the crap out of Ciampa was brilliantly put together. So I am giving this a great 8 out of 10. It was so good. I enjoyed every second of this match. And there you go, guys. That was NXT TakeOver Chicago. Was it as good as TakeOver New Orleans? No, it wasn't as good. I honestly don't think it was. I think it was slightly lower, but it's a good follow-on to that TakeOver. For me, I've got to say, it was a great pay-per-view. I've never been disappointed in an NXT TakeOver. I've always said they are great, they're entertaining. You want to see how wrestling, old school wrestling is done in a modern way. Watch an NXT TakeOver show because they are that good. I cannot wait to see how the stories continue. I can't wait to see who's next to take on Alistair Black for the NXT title. That'll be exciting. I can't wait to see what Adam Cole does next with United States Champion. Will anyone be able to defeat the Undisputed Era? And what's next for the high-flying Ricochet? I cannot wait. And I can't wait to see what Nikki Cross does next in the women's division. There's so many questions, not enough answers yet, but it just makes you want to tune in every week now to find out what's going to happen soon in NXT. So for me, I'm going to give this final NXT TakeOver Chicago a 7 out of 10. It was brilliant. It was, oh, actually no, screw that. It's an 8 out of 10. It was that good because of the main event. It just lifted it one more point. So there you go, guys. I want to hear your comments about NXT TakeOver Chicago. Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was good, bad? Tell me what was your best match of the night in the comments below. If you want to follow the channel, it's at Smack Talk. It's YouTube. That's YouTube. And you can follow me at Twitter as well, at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.